Hello and welcome to the How to Cite an Article in MLA style tutorial. In this lesson, I'll dissect a basic example of a citation for a database article. So the first part of most citations will be the author or editor's name. In MLA style, this is formatted last name, comma, first name with a period at the end. The reason for this formatting is because your works cited page is organized alphabetically by the author's last name. Now when you have two authors, the first author is formatted last name, comma, first name, comma. Then you use the word and followed by the second author, whose name is formatted in the normal first name, last name format. Then follow it by a period. Now if there are three or more authors, you only include the first author, followed by the phrase et al., which is Latin for and others. Then the period goes at the end of al. Now, if the article's author is a corporate entity, for example, the Modern Language Association of America, you write the name as it is written on the source, then end with a period. Now, if the article has no author, you simply omit the author name element and begin with the next part of the citation, which is the title of the article. There are two things you should know about article titles. The first thing is, when you copy them into a citation, you format them by MLA rules. Now, sometimes you could run across a title that's printed in all caps or in all lowercase letters, but MLA requires it to be in title case. And title case is the technical term for capitalizing the first letters of the important words. The second thing you should know is that the title should be encased in quotation marks. In MLA, quotation marks indicate small works enclosed inside of larger work. And this is an article that's held inside of a journal. Next, we close the title with the end punctuation of the title, and in this case, it's a question mark, which goes inside the final quote. The next element in the citation is the journal title. It gets italicized because it's a larger work. Remember, the article lives inside the journal. There's no period after this title, though, because journals don't just have titles in their sections, so use a comma here. Now, the next element is the citation is the volume and the issue numbers. The difference between the numbers is that the volume typically refers to the number of years the publication has been in circulation, and in this case, it's been 62 years. And the issue number refers to how many times that periodical has been published during that year. So this is the third issue for this particular year. Standard format is to write the abbreviation lowercase vol period, then the volume number, comma, and lowercase no period, then the issue number, comma. Now some periodicals may only have a volume number. In that case, simply use the abbreviation and number. And it may only have an issue number too. Do the same and use the abbreviation and number. The next element is the date. The journal might give you the year, it might give you a month in a year, or it may give you the season in the year. Whatever it supplies, the rule is to include as much of the information date as the source is giving you. And in this case, we can see that the source was published in May 2020, so that's what we include. The 9th edition of MLA has had a few updates, and one of these is for the seasons. Now the seasons should all be listed in lowercase within the citation. Also, I want you to notice how we're still working within this element section, so we're using commas throughout. Now when a section is complete, that's where the period goes. The exception here, of course, is after those abbreviations that we used. The next element is the page number or numbers. Depending on the paging you use, a P period for a single page or PP period for multiple pages. Then a period at the end of the page numbers. Now, we still need to indicate the database that the article came from, and I found this one in an EBSCOhost database. MLA states that the database is also a container, so the name should be in italics. Note that EBSCOhost is one word also, and that's its actual brand name, so we leave it as is. And since this is not the end of this element, put a comma after the database name. Now, if you found an article online such as this one, you need to add the URL. Look for a link called permalink, stable link, or get link on the article page. These are links that are not going to change. Don't use the URL link that you have up in your browser window. It won't work for you or your instructor later on. Now, some articles have what is called a digital object identifier, or DOI, as this one does. If one is present, use it instead of the permalink or URL. But remember to add the https://doi.org/ to the beginning of that number. When you do that, it allows your reader to call up that source in a browser window. Now add a period at the end of the section. So MLA no longer requires the date of access, but if your source could change over time, for example, it's something from a blog or some other online source like that, then include it. I advise students to include the date of access no matter what, as your instructor may still require that information. Now, this should be the end of your citation. But, of course, there's more. MLA citations require a hanging indent. That means that the first line of each citation starts at the left margin, and the next lines are indented. Now, don't just use your tab key for this. The spacing will be off. Instead, give it a hanging indent using your word processing software. Also, don't forget to double space your citations, and your works cited list needs to be in alphabetical order. So that takes care of the bibliographic works cited citation, but the Bib citation is only half of a complete MLA citation. Each one has two parts, the bibliographic citation and the in-text citation. The Bib citation helps the reader know what article you got the information from, and the in-text citation lets the reader know which section of your writing came from that work. Now, to learn more about in-text citations, see the library's tutorial on in-text citations MLA style. Of course, there are many more types of sources to cite than database articles, and there are a lot more situations for citing articles than I covered here. There are more resources available, and one of those is the Purdue Online Writing Lab, or the OWL. It provides an excellent website for covering different scenarios and the different rules. You can also reference the MLA handbook. We have copies in both the Galesburg and Carthage campus libraries. Or you can use the Sandburg Library Guide with examples of different MLA citations. So that's it for this lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to contact a librarian by emailing library@sandburg.edu. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.